This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now, because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk back to me this morning. My wife, it took me about 10 years, maybe longer, to even understand her. I get it, bro. They weird. They different. They strange. They not like us. She told me I'd be on the road. Oh, baby, I miss you. I can't wait for you to come home. I thought. But I flew home with visions. I was gonna come in the door. She was gonna rip off, anyway. I came in the door, she kissed me, say, "I'm so glad you home." And went back to watching Lifetime Murders. I went in my man cave. I thought about killing her. I thought, no, that wouldn't be the right thing to do. That wouldn't be the right thing to do. That wouldn't be the right thing to do. It made me so mad that all she wanted me to do was be home. It took me 15 years to figure out that she didn't want my present, she wanted my presence. Maybe because we started out as bucks, we think our real value is what we pull in anatomically. And we have not learned the value of what we give with our presence. Just to be there. Just to know you're in the house. Just to hear your crazy snore. Just to know that if a noise breaks out at night, you are there. Just for your kids to see what it's like to live with a man stops your daughter from having to go find one to figure one out. Talk to me, girls. May stop your son for looking for male attention from another man. So while we appreciate the check and your anatomical flow, until we get your emotional flow, there will always be a deficit. Wait, I came to this glass to get some water, but it had none. No matter how thirsty I am, it has no water. I can't get any water poured into me because it had no water poured into it. It is hard to pour into people what was not poured into you. I got this big picture here. It looks good, it's nice, it's fancy, it's cute, it's fine, it's wonderful, and honestly, it's expensive. But it's empty. Just because you dressed up don't mean you pour in. Just because you got a Gucci bag don't mean you pour in. Just because you got a fine watch doesn't mean you pour in. You can be fine as wine and have nothing to pour in. And pretty soon we're going to get tired of you being cute. You cute, but you empty, sir. Men pour.
Hi, you guys. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. So, yeah, this video is a delay because this sermon is actually from Father's Day. And so, when I really realized that it says fathers on the back of the sign of him giving this sermon, I realized, okay, so this was last month. I don't know why it took so much time for people to kind of put it out here. And I know I'm still on a delay even from when they put it out here, a week or so ago. But I wanted to hear, and I'm glad I was able to find it, more of what he was saying during the Father's Day address at, I guess at his church, Potter House. Because I felt like, his statement was probably taken out of context. It reminds me of the dating mixer where the young lady was on TikTok and she said, area, and it was only women sitting there, and she was saying there's nothing but women here. But she didn't come back and show the actual mixer when it started, right? And so people kind of ran with the story. And of course, these guys here on YouTube ran with it. They really think they're probably trying to approach T.D. Jakes to get him to become the leader of the Black Manosphere, right? Because they think that he's on their team. But when you hear what he said in context, you see what he is truly saying. And to an extent, I agree with him. However, we are living in a different time. We definitely have a different family structures. You kind of almost hear him touch on, I guess, LGBT lifestyles, but not really. And so you can see why it would rub some people the wrong way. But in context of what he was saying, as far as the traditional family of a husband and wife, and how they want to interpret the Bible, I understand what he's saying. And I would also say that I agree, but I would also say you can't place any blame on anyone, in particular in our community, because so many things have led up to these strong women that he's referring to. Women just didn't jump up and decide they wanted to become head of households, okay? They were put in a position where they didn't have a choice. And so it's that part of it. And I think the fact that it sounds like he's generalizing, I also think it's dangerous that Black men keep having these conversations without really not addressing the fact that a lot of Black men are not having children with Black women. And a lot of them have the same outcomes with other women as well. And so you place all this blame at the feet of black women. This is why these men are not in the house and saying all this nonsense. But they're not in nobody's house for the most part. And some of them, yeah, they are marrying other women more than they're marrying women that look like them and that are in their same community that they grew up in. Um, but a lot of them are not staying married, and a lot of them get married 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It's a lot of stuff that kind of plays into a lot of this. And so they're still leaving other women as head of households as well. And so I wish people would move away from trying to act like, there's a picture that you can place on the black family as the black man and black woman, when a lot of black men are not in black families. They're in dual communities, or multi communities, right? Because some people will say that they're all this different stuff, and I'm not even going to get off into it. Um, and so what happens is people are making, or they're trying to make, I should word it that way, because you can't make me do nothing, because I don't care if it makes people uncomfortable. I'm going to tell the truth. You can't have black women carrying the cross for other people, right? Because those women that don't look like these men that they're having children with have to get up and go to work as well, or they're going to go marry somebody else that's not black, that have the means to where they can stay home and take care of their children and take care of their households if that's what they choose to do. But the ones that choose to have careers, or they don't have a choice, they have to get up and find a career because they're trying to raise children alone, are in the same position as these black women that you guys are saying, are not marriage material because they're strong and aggressive and whatever else that you're trying to say with all of that. But as you guys can hear, people took his conversation out of context. They honestly, because his real message were to men. If men were really doing the things that they're supposed to do and living up to their potential, then women wouldn't have to take on these roles, right? Is what they're saying. Is what he's saying. He's not saying it the way a lot of these people are creating commentary around what they think or thought he said. And like I said, it's a lot of generalizing. It's definitely a lot of generalizing because everybody don't want the traditional family today, right? And people can live out loud and comfortably live out loud in that way. And so those things have to be considered when we're trying to hold conversations about family. And every woman just don't want to become someone's wife when they see all this stuff play out. And I've already said all this before, so I'm not going to say it again. But yeah, I'm kind of happy that I waited to put my video up, because in my other video I was definitely bringing up the fact that his daughters are very strong-willed, right? And like I said, he has built his career on and off of women, right? And if those women didn't have the money to buy those Woman Thou Art Loose books, go and watch the movie, support him, his speaking engagements that he has across the country and world, in a predominantly black audience, black woman audience. It's a lot of nerve for you to then try to badmouth those women who have put you in a position to live well, right, and to raise your children well. And like I said, his daughters are strong-willed as well, so it didn't make sense to me when I first heard the snippet, right, at all. And so that's why I kind of knew something was missing. Something was definitely missing for what people were trying to make us feel that he was saying that women are, they're manly, right, or they're acting as men. They did not have a choice. And we're talking about generations now, right, within our community, within the black community. But like I said, this is not a black conversation. And people need to stop having black conversations, or trying to blame black women for other women. I'm not taking responsibility for what no other woman is doing. Sorry. They can take responsibility for themselves as mothers, as women, as bosses, and whatever else. And so I think that people like to try to put a black woman's face on these conversations, especially when they're coming from a black man. And I understand he is married to a black woman, but he's not talking to black women. He's not just talking to black women. It's impossible for him to just talk to black women about a conversation like this. You guys understand? And so I don't know. Yeah, honey, the black manosphere. I'm sure O'Shea was over there talking crazy. They was losing their mind with this one. But yeah, when you hear what he's saying in context, you guys can hear what he's saying in the clip that I tried to add in here. That men need to step up and learn how to pour in to women, so they can step out of this leadership mindset and allow men to lead. But you have to be ready to do that. That just doesn't happen because you're good looking, like he said, or just because you have money, i.e. Cam Newton, right? Just because you have money, or just because you're good looking, or the bedroom action is, it doesn't mean that that is enough to make you a leader, right? You have to have all these things, these boxes checked, and you have to definitely be stable, want things out of life. And then a woman can trust you enough to follow that, which you would have to offer. But nobody, why would any woman give up what she can go out and do for herself just to sit up under somebody who is doing nothing? Like, it don't make sense, right, at all. And even if you are doing something, like the ones who do have the money, there's a list of other issues that then come up, right? Yeah, when women really look at what they have in store waiting on them in marriage, some of them don't want it, right? And because they have learned how to get up and get things, and they're not scared to try to get up and have things and run companies and do what they have to do, yeah, they are looking at their options and going, well, maybe I don't want to get married. Maybe I'm good with dating, and seeing what's out there. I think that the disservice is that black men tried to take that snippet of what he said, and they didn't take what he said about addressing your issues as a man, right? Because like he was saying, good looks, all of this stuff is not enough to keep a woman, right? Even the money, at some point, women, they will desire respect. They desire, like he said, like for his wife, they desire you to come home and to be present as a husband, right? And a lot of men can't give that, right? And so they take this abusive tone that it's the woman to take the responsibility and accountability off of themselves. And that's exactly what people did with this sermon. They took a snippet of what he was saying, and they took the accountability and responsibility that he really was speaking of in this sermon off of men, and made it about women, and in particular black women. And you guys need to stop doing that. Anyway, you need to stop doing that. But let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people had a lot of opinions because we just heard that snippet. So let me know how you feel now that you're hearing more of the sermon, or if you went to hear the entire sermon before you formed an opinion. Let me know in the comments. It was a Father's Day sermon, in which would make sense that he would direct his conversation to men, right? Yeah, I digress. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments, and how do you feel about what he's saying. And if you're someone who do not see it for yourself in a traditional family, for yourself, that's fine as well, because that's what I'm saying. Everybody is not, men and women, they're not looking at relationships the same, the way that is written in the Bible, or the way that it was back in the 40s, 50s, 60s. They're not looking at the family structure the same way. And then people have to be mindful of that. A lot of people did not come, they were not raised in a traditional family structure. And so that's also a part of it, right? And so his conversation really was directed to the right people, to men, because it would take men to change their behavior if they want to see the behavior in a woman change. I digress, because divorce is a real thing. Like, people can file for divorce. Just because you're getting married do not mean you're going to stay married. And so the conversation is bigger than that snippet that people try to throw out here. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.